Game started.
Weevily. Okay, Weevily from Canada. Let's try something different. He plays that. I was hoping for C4, get into some kind of interesting line. Well, maybe we can still play. Yes, we can play the King's Indian Defense. Classical line, always entertaining. Oh, but he takes. Well, not always entertaining. It's entertaining if he doesn't take and goes into the main line. In this line, the queens come off. And it's usually a pretty dry game, although white has a little something. If you watch Chess Explained, if you watch his channel, he plays the white side of this quite a bit. When he's not feeling like playing something super tactical. Okay, so the knight is pinned. My pieces are not developed. He's got a square here for the knight, which is pretty good. So we could start by playing maybe c3, c6 rather. Keep the knight out of this square so he won't add any more pressure to my pinned knight. I have no idea how to play this position actually, so I'm just improvising here and sharing my thoughts with you. We'll look it up later in the post-mortem and see how how it's supposed to be played. Oh, he grabs a pawn. Okay, I wasn't looking at all the threats. But these pawn grabs, sometimes they're not so good. Where is that knight going? There, defending there. So if I attack the knight, he can defend it with f. If I attack the knight, he defends it with f4. Is his king kind of exposed? Yeah, it seems like a place to start. And then I can add pressure to it with knight to d7, and at the end this pawn here is weak, which is the point of this move is to unpin the knight as well as to put pressure on the e-file. So let's see, am I threatening knight takes I might be threatening knight takes e4 immediately because the bishop is hitting the undefended the knight. But if he defends the knight with f4, then that should be okay. And if I'd played knight there immediately, oh, okay, so he's going to let me just take that pawn. He's going to let me take the knight. Oh no, this is the trick. I can't take the knight because of rook here check. But I can take the pawn. Knight takes pawn. Knight takes, bishop takes knight. So knight takes pawn. Can he move this knight with tempo? Then I can grab his knight. So knight takes pawn. He could take on c3 maybe. Knight takes knight, and then he takes here. Then I take his rook. Yeah, that looks good. Or maybe I could grab the bishop too. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong piece. So I want to play bishop takes knight here. Now this knight is kind of aggressively placed. But maybe I just need to develop, I need to get a few pieces off my back rank here so I don't get checkmated. Maybe bishop f5, knight either to a6 or to d7, and then I should be fine. And actually this bishop is nicely posted here. Let's see, is there other ways to increase the pressure on b2 here? Knight, it's kind of a slow plan. Knight e7, b6, c, d7, b6, and c5. Okay, so if he's going there, I think I need to take that knight. Because I don't want to. Yeah, my rook is just going to get pushed around if I don't take the knight. He can harass the rook over and over again with his bishop and his knight there. So, and what can he do? He can double rooks, but I can play knight a6, even if he doubles rooks, and then I can. I can't oppose his rook. He owns the. He owns the D file, a bit annoying. Yep, so knight a6 to c5. And I want to play that immediately because otherwise my knight is getting trapped in here. But c5 or c7. From c5 it can go to, yeah, I guess that's the better square. It's got a good home here on, on e4, forking the rook and the bishop. And then there are other ideas here. I was thinking maybe f6 to chase the bishop away if he moves the rook. Of course, he could just defend this square e4 by playing a move like f3, keep the knight out of there. And I would have to start searching for a home. Maybe I need to play a4 even. Okay, just attacks it directly. So I can defend it there for a move. No, that would give up the c pawn. So let's play there. See where his rook is going. Let's see. Could I try and regain control of the of the d file? Maybe if I could get my knight to the square. Dream on. I was just saying knight from here, and I would be covering these squares with the knight and these squares with the bishop. But it's not happening. Okay. So only move. Well, I could go back to there. Or here, knight to f3. He can attack it with his bishop again, but I can protect it with the king this time. Maybe that's a good move. And I have managed to get his bishop off this diagonal, so now, do I want to protect it with the king? If he plays rook here, then I will have to move it, but he will have, his rook will no longer be on this file. So that would be an improvement for me. His bishop is loose too, so I could also consider playing bishop to f5. So rook f4, bishop f5. My knight's still defended, and his bishop is under attack. And yeah, he played that, and then he could either defend that bishop, or he could attack my bishop. But let's see, bishop f5, pawn to g4. Bishop takes pawn. No, bishop takes bishop is good there. So rook takes bishop. Pawn takes bishop. It's interesting. Do I like that better than moving the knight? Knight here hitting the rook. Where does the rook go? Oh, he could take it. Or knight here. Knight could go to d7. And I still have some threats with moving the bishop. He just goes back there. And now I can kick the bishop. Rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes. I guess that's not good. Rook takes with check, bishop takes, rook takes with check, and I have to move my king. And so it's I've given up 2 pieces for a rook there. So what else? What else is there? Knight back. Knight to let's see if he repeats. Okay, yeah. He could try penetrating to... Oh no, if he comes here to... if he comes to d6, then I have knight to e4 again, forking the rook and the bishop. So bishop f3 on my next move again, unless he plays rook here. He's still thinking about whether to repeat, I guess. Got to come up with a plan. Oh, okay, defends that bishop. So bishop f4, bishop f5 hits his bishop. Let's kick this bishop first. I don't particularly like it there. And I don't know if it has any great squares to go to here. f4, e3, d2 don't seem all that exciting. Bishop d2, maybe it has more scope there. Okay, so my knight is no longer being harassed. That's yay. Good on me. Okay, let's harass his bishop. Okay, now maybe I should double on the E file, or maybe I should just play knight to knight e4 here, hits the pawn. And he can't take it. Well, he can, but it's just a trade. So he can defend that pawn with bishop to e3, or he can counterattack my bishop. Okay. So I take the pawn, he takes the bishop, I take the rook, he takes the knight, I take the pawn. Or I could take this pawn with my bishop. Oh, but no, he just takes my bishop. Okay, well, it'll give us a different balance of material here. The two pieces are better than the rook and a pawn, so this is an advantage to white materially speaking. But yeah, the two bishops are usually better than a rook. Let's go ahead and get, do I want the rook off? Yeah, let's go ahead and take the rook off. And that comes with a tempo, so I can pick up another pawn here, maybe. So it'll be a pure rook against two bishops. And there's still some tactical tricks. You can sometimes fork those bishops with the rook. Of course, you have to be careful, likewise, that your king and rook don't get forked. So I can grab this pawn. I can't really attack the, I can attack this bishop. Oh, and he goes check. Yes, so rook here would be a big blunder because the bishop there check, forking the rook and king. Okay, and he tries to seal the pawns in. So let's lift this pawn up because I do want to play my rook to d4 there. I don't have a lot of good squares for it, so I just need to stop this bishop check. Yeah, okay, well, let's get my king into the game then. Okay, I'm going to e6 with my king. I could take that bishop and take the pawn if I get to e6, potentially. And I would have an advantage of 3 pawns against the bishop. But they're kind of ugly looking pawns. I don't think that would win. If they weren't doubled, that 3 pawns against the bishop you can sometimes win. Even 2 pawns against the bishop if they're widely separated. But in this case, I don't think so. So I'm just moving my king to a more active post, basically. And then I want to activate my rook. Rook to here, rook to g8, and then to g4. No, the bishop's covering that. Yeah. See, these 2 bishops cover a lot of squares. That's why they're actually better than the rook. And my pawns in compensation here are not very impressive. Not impressive pawns at all. See, so I can attack this pawn over here or this pawn over here. Actually, this is a good pawn to attack. He can't defend it. This pawn he can just push forward. Yeah. And his light squared bishop is oddly not doing much. Okay, he's going there. I can't hold that pawn. Well, I could, but I would have a very passive position. So if I go over here, he takes, I take with check. He moves a king, I go here. He can't even come back and defend this pawn either. So let's do that. It's going to be dicey because this pawn obviously has a straight run to queening. Oh, he's thinking too long.
Forfeits on time.
Okay, well, that was a time win. This probably is a draw with best play, but I'll take a look at it in the postmortem. It's a very double-edged kind of position. So maybe there's winning chances for one side or the other. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.